welcome to the podcast. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready for it. Let's do it.
I'm so excited to have you on the pod.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. Jeremy, you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about you, and then we're going to get into all of the juicy stuff, like you moving to London, chasing your passion, and all the good stuff in between.
Yeah, sure. So, name's Jeremy Mitchell, born and raised in Brooklyn, New York.
Shout out Brooklyn.
Yeah, that's right. I have three older siblings, raised by a single mom who worked extremely hard to provide for us. Went to school here in Brooklyn. I originally was not into acting at all, even though film and TV shows were always big for me, like, watching growing up, but never thought of it as a career. Kind of took the traditional safe path. Went to Baruch College here in the city. Studied finance. Got a job at a big international bank, JP Morgan. I was working there for 5 years. And then I decided to switch over to another international bank called Standard Chartered. Worked there for about 3.5 years. And yeah, kind of in the middle when I started Standard Chartered, I was kind of thinking, like, what else do I kind of want to do?
Yeah.
I didn't totally hate my job, but I didn't totally love it. And I was like, what else can I kind of do?
Mm-hmm.
And then I was just like, I think I made it like a New Year's resolution to like, try out an acting class. Like, you've always liked film and TV. Why not just do that? And I did that in 2017 at the age of 29. And the more classes I took, the more I just loved it. And the more classes I wanted to take. And then I started to look for projects. I did kind of like a web series called Amare, where I was like the lead, and some like other indie stuff, and just kept on with classes. Like, I really enjoyed the classes so much. But again, still didn't think of it as like a full-time thing. But I think that itch started to creep in a little bit more the more classes I took. And to be honest, when COVID struck, I got to work from home a lot, and drama school then became like an idea.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, so if I really want to do this, like, I should do this, because I feel like I kind of want to do this more so.
Yeah.
So when COVID struck, I got to work from home a lot. I lived alone at the time, so I had like a lot of time on my hands, and everything was closed in the city. Like, everything kind of like shut down. I had like a list of schools that I kind of want to go for. I've always wanted to kind of live abroad in London. There was an opportunity that kind of fumbled when I was working, but London was kind of like something like, it's a city. It wouldn't be like a huge culture shock, but at the same time, like, it would be something different.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the goal was to kind of get into some of the drama schools in London that were like really good. And I applied for a wide range of schools, even some in the States. And then Guildhall School of Music and Drama is the school I go to now in London. That one hit, and then I just decided to kind of just go for that full time, and just left everything else and
I
been
mean,
there.
I love it. Like, all of it. Because, like, in my head, like, and I know, like, we've, like, in the short time that we've known each other, like, we kind of went back and forth, and, like, I kind of asked a few questions. But I had it, like, I was under the impression that you moved to London for work and just ended up, like, chasing acting while you were out there. But it's actually the opposite. You actually were... Okay, you had this whole finance career.
Yeah.
And then you took up acting as a hobby, and then decided, like, okay, like, this hobby, like, this is a thing that I really love, and I really want to do it, and I want to pursue it. So I'm very impressed right now in terms of you just kind of like leaving. So finance is like completely like left behind at the moment.
Yeah, that's totally gone at the moment.
That's insane.
Yeah.
And now you're just like in London, you're going to school, you're really like 100% all in chasing this passion.
Yeah, it's and I mean, everything comes at a cost, because it's not. I definitely miss the stability and the money that the working in banking provided, but to be honest, I wasn't like totally fulfilled. And Acting is probably one of the few places where I could be 100% myself. I've learned so much more about myself taking the classes. And you kind of just, you dive deeper into yourself, but at the same time, you get to have fucking fun and do shit that you wouldn't normally do on
Yeah.
a day-to-day basis. So, yeah, being in classes, in London and going to the school, it's like, yeah, I'm happiest in the classroom. Yeah, I just feel like, I could just kind of be free and, learn from myself and then learn from also watching like the other people in my class. It's been great.
Absolutely. How do you feel about like in terms of right now you're kind of in this education realm where like you're learning, you're soaking everything up and really working on your craft. But like you're not you're not booking gigs yet,
Nope.
right?
Nope.
So there's no flow of income coming in at the moment.
Yeah.
Walk me through those feelings and how you're like navigating it.
It's crazy. I go back and forth through this like every day. Like, I'm like, what the fuck am I doing sometimes? And then, like being home and like growing up with, like my mom, she doesn't understand. Most of my family, they don't understand it. Like, are you fucking crazy? Like,
Yeah.
what are you doing? Like, you left like a cushy job and you're doing this. Like, why? And it's just like, I don't know sometimes, but at the same time, it's like, I do know. It's like, there's a deeper reason as to why I'm doing this. But yeah, it's because and the thing is like I learned a lot from this from classes too. Is like it's kind of have to stay in the present moment. Like for me, I think when I was banking, it was always like providing for the future as to being able I could retire at 65 or just make sure I could buy that house and that mortgage and like really always like aiming for the future. But right now it's like I have no idea where the fuck I'm gonna be in the next 2 years. But at the same time, it's like it's exciting, but yes, also very fucking scary because there's no guarantees after drama school. Like it's very much I could be back at banking, knocking on wood, hoping that doesn't happen.
Knock
But
on wood for you too.
um, it motivates me because like I know I apply the same work ethic as I did like in banking to this. Like it's it's not just for fun and giggles and just to have a good time, but it's like I am trying to work up to hopefully building a sustainable career on the name of the school and its reputation and kind of just working it from there. But exciting, but definitely scary because yeah, you just don't know and you just kind of venture to if I work hard and I show up and if things happen, great. If they don't, at least I gave it my all. And, maybe that'll give me motivation to keep going and stuff like that.
For sure. And I think I remember saying this. I was like, if it scares you, that means you should be doing it.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I think you're in the right place.
Yeah.
But I just know for like myself, I'm like, okay, if it scares me a little bit, like then just go for it.
Yeah.
Because you never want to live in that moment of like, what if?
Yep.
Like, what if I went all in on something?
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I feel like in my career right now in real estate of just like, all right, like I knew once I left also like from the financing world, like I worked for an accounting firm.
Yeah.
But like I remember just like kind of leaving that behind and I'm like, okay, like if I'm going to do real estate, all in. All or nothing. Let's see what happens. And tomorrow is gonna make it 3 years since I've been like full time.
Hey,
so
there you
that's
go.
like amazing.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's it.
And I'm like excited and I'm like
Yeah.
happy doing this.
Yeah.
Of course there's like a lot of me where I'm like I love podcasting, I love like acting, I love that whole realm, but it's so different from like you right now where you're like, no, I love it. I love it enough that I left this like career, moved to London.
Yeah.
And I'm out here and I'm doing it.
Yeah.
How much more schooling do you have?
So I'm almost to the halfway mark, which is kind of crazy. So it's a 3-year program. I'm a little over a year now. I will be done around July 2024. Yeah. So like it's not that far off, and to be honest, it's really like 2 years of training. So like we'll have like classwork for the first 2 years, and then third year is nothing but shows. And there's
Mhm.
shows that like they invite to the public, so we'll do it at the school.
Mhm.
And then they'll invite external people, whether it be just people interested in theater, like British like theater in London is like much of a thing. And they'll invite agents, directors, and stuff like that. That's where you kind of like showcase the talent, and that's where people kind of get signed, or they get signed with agents or directors, and they start working usually immediately after school. So yeah, that's the goal. And yeah, let's see where it takes from there.
Yeah. Are you excited about that process, or are you kind of just enjoying the moment and where you are right now and just learning?
Yeah, and I mean, because that's always in the back of your head. Like, when you first get there, you're like, okay, you're already kind of, streamlining where I kind of want to be at the end of the year. As of course, a lot of people want to be like, in film, TV, or theater, or just fucking working, to be honest.
Yeah.
But they really try to, stress those points is like, again, like staying present, being here. And that's what really, to be honest, this is what really good acting's about. It's usually like if you're doing a scene, whether you're on stage or a film, and if you're already thinking about like, oh, how's the scene gonna end, or did I fuck up my last three lines, or
Mhm.
you're already fucked, like because
Mhm.
you're already out of it. But the more you kind of stay in those moment by moment, the more things become more alive, and the more things you see, and that's really what strikes people when they see like good film and TV acting. Like if the actor sees it, the audience will see it. So it's like more staying in the moment, enjoying each class. And the more I do that, the more I've kind of like invested, and like the future kind of doesn't matter, But at the same time, when you kind of step away, you do kind of want to observe like classmates that are above you. That's why it's good to kind of like foster relationships with people that are not necessarily in your class, to kind of see like how things are going, how are you working out. And the more you do that, again, it's also a business. Like you got to network, got to work your ass off. You can't just be, you could be the most talented actor in the classroom and not have anything. It's like it's always going to be like a mix of both. So it's kind of like balancing those worlds. And the school will actually have us have classes where we have like, I think we're gonna have it more in my current year now, in the spring or summer semester, where we have like industry people, and they kind of tell us like how the industry kind of works within London, and if people want to kind of venture outside of London and stuff. So yeah, you just kind of take it day by day. Yeah, and the more you kind of do that, the more you kind of take the stress and the weight of being signed and working like that. It kind of takes the pressure off a little bit.
Yeah. Because you're just like kind of like focusing on like, okay, let me get good at my craft,
Yeah.
and everything else kind of like falls into
Yeah.
place like when that time is right.
Yeah.
Jorge actually says this quote all the time to me, where it's perfect practice, or it's something about, I might have to cut this, but it's like practice doesn't make perfect.
Mm.
Perfect practice makes perfect.
Okay, I like that.
And
Yeah.
I really, really like that. And it's
Yeah.
just like once you are just kind of being proactive and you're
Yep.
doing things the right way,
Yep.
like the opportunities are going to come.
Yep.
And that was like another thing that he says. It's like opportunity is when preparation meets success.
Yeah.
Is
Preparation meets yeah. What was it? Luck.
When luck meets opportunity
and preparation, or something like that.
We're on the right
We're
track.
on the right track.
We
Yeah,
know
yeah.
what we're
You know,
talking
yeah.
about.
It's one of
But
those.
but yeah,
Yeah.
but like I think you put those two things like combined in, like practicing, and
Yeah.
then the right opportunities coming along. But like when those opportunities come along, you're like, no, I know I've been working on my craft for the last 3 years, and I haven't been focusing on like the end goal and just really like enjoying the process and going through the process. Like I think that's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's exactly it. And uh, and just being around people and the school itself, I think they try to like kind of stress those points in, which you kind of forget, because yeah, I'm not gonna. It'd be some days where I'm just like, again, like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, did I really do this? Like something wrong. But you take a breath and you just realize, the work you've done. Why are you doing this in the first place? Is always down to the why, the why, the why, and yeah, things make more sense, and you just kind of go with it.
Besides you love in this industry and this being like your passion, like what's your big why of why you're doing it?
Yeah, again, it's the only place where I could be 100% myself. Um, and I kind of grew up in a strict religious home where a lot of things were forbidden. Where we couldn't do a lot of things, and then kind of going to a school setting where it's like you also taught like it's a structure to it, and then kind of going into like the corporate world, whereas be honest, there weren't a lot of black people or minorities in my background, and I felt like I had to kind of like become more of a chameleon to kind of appease people
Mm-hmm.
to what they think I should be or make them feel more comfortable, which it kind of just kills you inside a little bit. And I think acting was more of an outlet, and um, yeah, I guess I didn't really know myself at that point. I think that was another reason why I kind of want do acting. And yeah, it's the only place where I feel completely free and liberated, um and yeah, we get to do fun stuff and storytelling. It's like when you go to like you see a good film or TV show or a theater piece or a play, it's when you walk out of there different, or when it
Mm-hmm.
makes you think something different, job
Mm-hmm.
done. And it doesn't have to be for everybody. It's like it's always it could be one or two people, but like if you do that, job done. And there's been like heavy influences where it would be film or TV shows that have kind of done that, and it's like I want to do that. That'd
Yeah.
be great.
Well, what's like an example of I could think of like a million,
Yeah.
but like what's one example of a show that like gave you or show or movie that gave you that like ooh, that really made me think. Or
Yeah,
like
so I'm a big advocate of this, and like I know my friends always get tired of me recommending the show. So True Detective season 1.
I haven't seen it.
So it's probably my all-time favorite show.
Okay.
Matthew McConaughey's character is like my spirit animal. He's one of my favorite actors. He's one of my heroes. Um,
Wait, we need to pause for a second. I love that man. So how
oh,
did I not see this
you
show?
have to see
Is
this
this
show.
like a really old show or like
It came out, I think, in 2012.
I'm like writing
Um,
it down so I don't forget.
yeah, you have to watch this show. Um, but that was like something that just really struck with me because and Matthew McConaughey, like he always is the romantic hunk. Also his book Green Lights is like one of my favorite books. Where he kind of discussed like his journey, like he kind of got typecast for a bit. And he didn't get work for a while, and it wasn't until he stopped working for a couple years where he's like denying these multi-million-dollar projects, and then his phone goes silent for like a year and a half or 2 years, and he's like wondering if he'll ever work again.
Wow.
And then people started to keep him in mind or just called him up to do like these other dramatic roles. And yeah, True Detective is like one of the serious roles that he kind of took, and just to see his transformation on how he took on his character. Um, yeah, Woody Harrelson is also in that show, and they just their chemistry, the story, the vibe. It was like one of those shows that kind of like really struck with me, and like kind of was like, okay, yeah, he sees the world for how it is. Not a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people may want to vocally you know say it or see it, but I kind of saw it. It
Yeah.
was like something I was like, all right, that's something kind of like motivated me. And then also the film Collateral with Jamie Foxx and Tom Cruise. That was like another movie that really struck me. Like, again, what the fuck am I doing? Like, do I really want to do this? For the or do I want to kind of take a chance on something and totally just go with it? So I think those are like motivational pieces to like, get me to try out acting.
Yeah.
Go for it full throttle.
They're like, come on, man, let's go.
Yeah, that's what it was. It's like the dude in your ear, like the I don't know, the little voice in your head saying, just fucking go, man, just go. And I think that's what prodded at that a little bit more.
All right, all right, all right.
Yeah, there you go.
No, I like one of my favorite like Matthew McConaughey movies, and like it was Lincoln Lawyer.
Oh yeah,
That was such a good movie. I
yeah,
watched it like 10 times. And I
yeah,
don't, but like, it was one of those pieces because, like, again, like, I mean, like, How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
yep.
classic. I watch it every single time I'm on an airplane. But
Yeah.
there was something again about like his acting in Lincoln Lawyer and like, portraying like this character who's like, I'm a little shady, but I'm also trying to do the right
Yeah.
thing. But he's incredible. I
Yeah.
absolutely love him.
No, that's a great film, and I think that was actually one of the films. It was either around that time or before, like True Detective, where he started taking on roles that were outside of just playing the romantic guy. And yeah, he just needed somebody to like take a chance on him, and that's why he directly like turned down roles that even though the paycheck was good,
Hmm.
it's not what he wanted to do anymore. He wanted to kind of like venture out, and like him taking that risk and that risk and that chance, is admirable.
Yeah. Do you know, like, from like kind of just like between your classes and like the movies that you've seen and like the shows that like you kind of like,
Yeah.
okay, this is kind of my vibe. Do you kind of know by now like the type of actor or the type of acting that you think you want to like get into?
Yeah, it's actually funny. I would really like to do theater, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
And the school that I'm going to is a big theater school. Yeah, London. I mean, New York is big on theater too, but it's like you really only have Broadway.
Mm-hmm.
London, you kind of have more of a wider spectrum of theaters, and a lot of people do go to the theaters in London. Like that's a thing. Broadway's kind of fucking expensive, but um, London is a bit affordable depending on where you go. But it's just such a wide selection. Yeah, the thing with theater is that it's just very in the moment. Like I'm very big on sports. I'm a big basketball fan. It's the closest thing you get to sport. It's like you got to deal with everything as it happens, like the errors, the things that go wrong, people's phones going off, how that
Mm-hmm.
takes you out the moment. That shit happens still all the time. With the two shows last week, that happened like it's crazy, like every 20 minutes, which is just weird. They tell you not to. So yeah, just that atmosphere, that world, because it's just constant. You kind of roll with the punches with that, and I find very exciting. Yeah, film and TV will love to do, but they say like you get paid to wait. So like you
Mm-hmm.
could be, doing a scene and you could be on set for like 8 hours. You don't get called on to like hour six, and then you actually do get called on, and then you're on camera for like 15 minutes anyway while they reshoot it. So it kind of takes some of the juice out of it, but it's still an exciting place to be because you kind of have all these things around you, whether it be you be on set or even in a green room where you don't have much. You're bringing your imagination alive and still being able to tell a story and being connected like with your fellow actor across from you. It's still kind of like has that same charge, but yeah, theater is just you have to kind of flow with it. It's like the closest thing to like a game. That would be what I would like to do. When I
It's also like I find it theater it, and I mean coming from kind of both worlds, it
yeah
they both have their challenges and their pros and their cons. I do find theater to be a little bit more challenging because it's also live.
yeah
And like there is like it's it's you said it earlier, it's like, if you mess up you kind of just have to be okay and keep
yeah
going
yeah
and really have the will to like just like, all right, let's power through and really not make a show.
yep
So that part has always been a little bit more challenging, but there is something so rewarding about like being on stage and then at the end just having like that standing ovation
yep
or like the hearing like the laughs or like the
yeah
jokes like really sticking,
yeah
and that almost like kind of like fuels you of like, okay, I just got one.
yeah
So
yeah
let's keep it going.
And yeah, no, yeah, that's the thing is like you have different audience that comes in every night, so like it's a different charge each time. So like if something was funny that landed one night didn't land with something else, and then but another line that you unexpectedly didn't think was funny lands with this. So like it's like forever like evolving and changing. So like, it feels different each time you kind of do it. Um, where like I guess your film and TV kind of do feel like that, but there's no stop cut and go with theater. You just kind of have to stay in that moment, that present moment.
No, for sure. What are you like most excited about right now?
So going back into class, like we're actually going to do an on-camera scene, which we
Mm-hmm.
really haven't done. So going back into that, and we're working with people in our class where we actually have to kind of write it ourselves. Um, but even if we write it together as a group, we don't necessarily get to perform it. We get
Mm.
to pass it to somebody else in our class who does our own written scene, and we take on somebody else's written scene. So like it preempts you for any ideas you may have about how am I gonna approach this, how I'm gonna do this. Like you just kind of like gotta go with it and figure it
Yeah.
out. So that's exciting. Practicing on my British accent, which does need some work because from what I hear from my classmates, I still have a little bit of a British accent, but there's also some
Mm-hmm.
Jamaican in there, which I have no idea how it got in there because I have no Jamaican background. So I want to brush up on that a little bit. Um,
Wait, let's get a little taste of your
oh
London
man, the
accent,
pressure.
your British accent.
Sure. So all right, I could do a few lines. All right, pressure's on.
Putting you on the spot.
You are putting me on the spot. Okay. I have no armor left. You stripped it from me. Whatever I am, whatever is left of me, yours. That's it. I'm sure some Jamaican slipped in there.
I I so obviously I'm not from London, and so it's just like I can't be your biggest I can't judge, but
Yeah.
like I think it's good, but I do hear the little bit of the
Yeah,
Jamaican
so it
in
definitely
there.
needs some work. So yeah.
No, but like that's so exciting because it's just like almost like, all right, you're working on it. So
Yeah.
like when it gets perfected, you're gonna be like, yeah, like
Yeah,
I
and
did that thing.
definitely gonna need to do that if I want to work in London. So definitely gonna, spend some time on that, which we kind of started this in September. So hopefully like yeah, this year we'll kind of like take it a little bit further and stuff. But
Hmm.
yeah.
No, but I love that I kind of love the whole fact that you guys are like going to be writing out your script, passing it along so you don't like even though you're writing like a character and you might be like thinking of like okay, this is like the idea of like how I would play the character. It's going to be interesting to see like how someone else does it
Yeah.
and then like also how you act on like someone else's like script as well.
Yeah.
It's super exciting. One thing that you just said in terms of like acting in London, do you think that's like end game is to just stay out there?
To be honest, I really have to. I would like to. I do like living in London. Again, yeah, it's not much different than New York, but just given like the atmosphere and how theater is like a big thing. Um, and again, just I guess living outside of New York, because I've lived here my whole life, I would like to spend more time in London or even somewhere else in Europe. I just kind of want to have new things kind of thrown to me, new cultures that I kind of have to take in. Um, but at the end of the day, I have to go where the work takes me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Ideally, yeah. So it'll be London. Uh, I wouldn't mind working. New York is still like a big place to work in between here and LA. LA is where like all the film and TV's at. So again, like if there's opportunities out there, I would definitely go there. I very much like having New York as just my home base where I kind of get to chill though. You
Mm-hmm.
know, again, very open to working here, but I would love to kind of just have this as a place where I come back, you know,
Relax.
relax. Yeah,
Yeah.
which has been great.
Which is also so funny because like relax like when I think of New York it's just like hustle mode all the
Yeah,
time. But I also love that you kind of already in a way identified like that division of like home base. Like when I'm home I just want to come and chill and relax and see friends and like whatever it is, and then like work bases
yeah,
like you said, wherever work takes you, whether it's like staying out in London or like having to travel maybe like
yeah,
to another state, whatever. But I think it's like really cool that you really like have kind of already identified that, because it's something I kind of struggle with it because I remember just saying like when I'm home not in like my apartment, but like if I go home to see my parents, or if I go home to see like Jorge's parents,
Yeah.
like that, I'm just like, okay, when I'm there, I just want to be present. I want to be in the moment, and I want to spend time with family and just like
Yeah.
sit by the fire and relax. And then there was a moment where I was like taking work with me. And then it
Mm.
didn't feel the same anymore. I'm like, this is not my relaxing place
Yeah.
anymore. So it was like, it took some time where now I'm just like trying to like, okay, when I'm like home, let home be home and just be completely present. Don't even bring the laptop with you, Teresa. Just
Yeah.
leave it in the apartment. But it's hard. It's like a hard thing to like try to like identify, I feel.
No, it is because and actually, I think some of the teachers have commented on this. Is like my feedback is like when I first got there, it was like I'm very much grind mode, and
Mm-hmm.
like I think just being in London and Europeans in general is like their 9 to 5 is their 9 to 5. Like
Mm-hmm.
it took me 2 months to open up a UK bank account. It's because I was like in class all day, and like we were there from 9 to 5
Mm-hmm.
basically. And I think we had like an off day where I kind of went to a bank and was opening like an account. And I went to this bank will remain unnamed. And I went there. It's like, hey, I need to open up an account, and they were just like, it's it's 4:30. We close at 5, and this is a 45-minute process, which means we'll have to stay an extra 15 minutes to kind of help you open up this account. And I'm like, all right, yeah, that's fine with me. No, that means you have to come back another day. And I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me? You guys can't stay 15 minutes past? Like, I get it if as an employee there, like, yeah, I value my time. My time is my time. But like as a customer, it hits you where like, the convenience of like you would never hear that here, like in this state.
Never.
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 Especially if like a manager was present. Like never. But
It's like you get that account open.
you get that account open, right? Yeah. And like you as an employee, like that's like you get some type of commission off of that, you
Oh
know?
my god.
So they respect their time, and like that took time for me to like, kind of like realize, and I totally get it. It's like they're very big on like their downtime and their family, and their friends and stuff. Where I think New York we kind of get really into grind mode. Yes, yeah. Again, remember my corporate days. Yeah, if you needed to answer an email at 10 p.m., whether it be Sunday night or whatever like that, you had to fucking do it.
Mm-hmm.
And there were no excuses. So kind of letting that grind mentality go a little bit, kind of helps you kind of be a little bit more free and open, which I think the teachers get.
Yeah. And now, do you feel like now, being there for a year and a half,
Yeah, almost. Yep.
do you feel like now, like you, like the grind mode is done, and you're like, all right.
No, I'm very much a workaholic. And again, I'm still working on it. Like I
Yeah.
don't think it's totally there. It's like I like being busy.
Mm-hmm.
Like I had off like we were off from school for like 2 months this past in 2022, like July, August. And yeah, I wasn't working, and I didn't come back home because I kind of wanted to explore, London, just see how it is. And I fucking struggle. Like I like I like having long days because it just feels like I'm investing in something. It's like the free time. It kind of kills me. But you know, yeah, I just went on like walks. Kind of explored different places. Went on long runs, exploring different like parks that I haven't been to because there are tremendous abundance of parks that you randomly kind of like find in London.
Mm-hmm.
It's like still a big city. They do have some greenery. So yeah, I'm still working on it to be honest, but I think I've gotten better at it. I'm not perfect, but I'm getting better at it.
You'll get there.
Yeah, I'm getting
eventually.
there.
How long is our classes?
Yes, yeah. So they're 9 to 6, and
Wow.
sometimes a bit longer. So like very intense, and
Yeah.
yeah, they advise kind of like not working or doing anything. Like they're really big if you miss a class. Like you have to have like a good fucking reason.
Wow.
So yeah, they're really big. They treat it like kind of like a job, um, you know, hour wise or structure wise, and they expect you to be there. And it makes sense because different from like, well, actually not so different, but like I feel a little bit more doing acting or drama school. Whereas like if you are absent, it's not only big on you that you miss classes, but it affects the people that you're around
Yeah.
because you're an ensemble. You're working with these people for 2 years of training, and then you're gonna do 3 years of shows. you not being there, that's an opportunity missed for like the classmates to kind of work with you a little bit more closely. So, and I never really thought about it that way. It's like, if I don't feel the best, or if I don't, it's like, all right, I might miss a class or whatever like that, which I don't ever want to do. But it affects everybody else. So it's kind of like you have to kind of put the group ahead of like yourself
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah, no, totally. And just kind of like push through.
Yeah.
Because it is a very collaborative environment as well. And like the energy is feeding off of each other, and like working together, or probably even having like a partner to share a scene with.
Yep.
And even going back to like theater world, like, rain or shine, sick or not sick, like we're showing up.
You gotta show up.
Yeah.
Because again, you can't do that when you're you're doing a show, and like these shows, they're intense. Like they get full schedules. Like they're doing the same thing every night, and sometimes you may do it for 3 to 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to show up because people are paying money to see you. If you're not there, like directors get pretty pissed off by that.
Yes.
Especially if you're the main person. People are coming to see you, and they get kind of like the understudy.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's a good opportunity for understudy to shine, but at the same time, they came to see you, so you fucking push through it.
No, I love that. And we want you to be the star of the show for like all the time. So there's that. But this leads me to kind of like I guess like the closing of the podcast before we do some fun rapid fire questions.
Sure.
But because we're on the topic, for those days, and this is a question that we ask all our guests, for those days when you are feeling a little down or unmotivated, or like let's even just say like under the weather, like what's the one thing that you do to get you out of a funk and like really pick yourself back up?
Yeah, so I'm big on music, and I am very, I will say, very anal on playlists. So like I have a playlist for everything.
Mm-hmm.
So like if it's something that when a day like I do feel down, I know there's a certain playlist I can go to kind of like get me out that funk and get me out of my feelings, or me being it being about me, which helps. Second to that, calls with friends and family, like Juan is probably one of my favorite people to talk to when I'm kind of going through a tough time. And even though he's not in the theater world at all, he always shares like a perspective and the momentum to kind of like keep me going. And I'll share like pieces with him, and he gives me honest feedback, which also helps, because Londoners can be quite polite a lot of the time, and you don't know if like they mean what they say sometimes. But he's like a person that I've known and grown with for a while, so he kind of like give me feedback, or just talking like other friends, like Jesse and Peter, like people that I've kind of grown up with, to really just sometimes humble me down too, and be like, oh yeah, your accent is shit. Like, what the fuck is that? Like, what are you saying? Or I had to do like a lion thing, and I had to do like a lion roar, and they were like, what are you doing? Are you a pigeon? Like, but it's like they're not doing it to be
mean.
Dicks or mean.
Yeah,
they're just being fucking honest, which I love. And this is it's that camaraderie that like I really appreciate and kind of miss when I'm out in London. But I think between music and then just talking with friends is helpful.
I love that. I think and now it's making me question. I'm like, wait, am I a true New Yorker? Because like even before, I'm like, well, like what's a nice way that I could say that? Like,
and you can't do it with everybody,
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, but like to your point, like I do love like those friends that I have. Like one of my closest friends, Catherine. I call her my honey bunny. But she is that friend, like, if I need brutal honesty, like, I know she will give it to me, like, 200 times over, and will not care. Like, she's just like, I don't care if it hurts your feelings, but I'm going to say this, but I love you. And I'm like, you need that.
You definitely need that, because, you don't want to just go through and then not knowing. Right? And that's how you get better.
Absolutely.
Right? You got to fail at shit. You got to suck at shit for a while until you... Yeah, because if I just think, oh, everything's good and great, like, all right, I don't need to work on this. But, I constantly want to improve. I become very obsessive with shit. I do have, like, an obsessive personality. Whereas like I constantly want to be better. It's not like I want to be better than anybody else. I just want to always constantly like challenge myself and not, do something and be like, did I really fully commit to it or did I not? Like that's the biggest thing I can't live with, like regret and just not giving it my all is just unacceptable.
I a million times love that. Because if you're not constantly challenging yourself, you're not growing.
Yeah.
And that's just how I feel. And
Yep.
like, and I've said this story so many times on the pod, but like for me, it was just like at the accounting firm, you almost felt like you're on like this hamster wheel and you kept doing the same thing over and over. And I was like, I was no longer challenged.
Yeah.
And there's always room for improvement.
Yeah.
But like when it kind of hits like a stopping point, it's just like, okay. So for like me, like real estate, like there's no ceiling. Like you could keep going and going and going.
Yeah.
And like every day is so different and you're constantly encountering challenges.
Yeah.
And I would like think even the same with acting when you taking on like new roles or like having to read like a new script or like having to work with someone new. It's always changing.
Yep.
And that's like exciting also.
Yeah, no, it is,
it's
yeah.
really exciting.
Exactly.
But I love all the things. I'm gonna get into some rapid fire questions.
All right, let's go.
I don't know, you might lose some friends right now. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
We'll just cut that out, right?
No, I'm kidding. But my first question for you is like, who's your BFF?
It's a mix between two people, to be honest.
Okay.
Juan I mentioned earlier,
Love it.
and Jesse, who's a person that I grew up with. Our parents knew each other. We had no choice but to be best friends. We grew up in the same religious community. There's pictures of us like out the womb, with our parents. So like, and he's honestly the funniest person I fucking know.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. See Juan? He's your best friend. I was like texting him yesterday. I was like, my new favorite person is coming over.
Yeah.
And he's like,
he gets jealous.
yeah, he's like, he goes, he's out here stealing friends. I was like, I'm popular. Everybody likes me, Juan. It's okay. Okay. Tea or coffee?
Coffee, for sure. I know. Me being over there. Oh, shit. Well, it depends.
I'm kidding. Tell me about the other love in your life, coffee.
It doesn't, I would have like at least one or two coffees a day. And it's like I'm not like a fucking prima donna like Juan is with coffee. Like I
didn't know about his
Oh
coffee.
my gosh, you have no idea. Like he sends me like sporadic videos of him making like his latte with like his espresso machine, and then even when he came to visit me in London, where's the best coffee spot? I'm just like, I don't fucking care, just go down the road. But like he was super prima donna with that. I just want something that gives me a kick in the morning. And then we have long days, and sometimes like I just need that extra kick, and I'm not big on it. I just need cream, and that's all it is. I can't even taste like the difference between good or bad coffee. I just know that I'm there for the caffeine.
I feel like that would like I haven't drank like a cup of coffee. Like I've tried it.
Yeah.
But like to fully drink like a black cup of coffee, like I feel like I have too much energy to just go over right now. I'm like, I'm good. But I am curious, like living in London, because like for some reason like English breakfast tea like comes to my head like automatically, and because it also has caffeine in it as well. Like, do you find like your colleagues or like your classmates like drinking more tea or more coffee?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. I don't think there's really. I kind of thought that too, and like friends make back, like you doing like tea time or like you're having a crumpet or whatever. Like I'm just like I don't know if that's really that much of a huge thing as we put it on. Like I think a lot of people do drink coffee as much as they do drink tea. But like tea is supposed to be a little bit better for you, especially if you get like herbal tea or something with like lemon in it or whatever. It's supposed to especially help with like voice and it doesn't dry out dry your voice as much as coffee would. But like I see a lot of people drink coffee in my class.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll stick to tea time for here. Done. This is the new tea time. um, we talked a little bit. Oh, actually, no, I skipped a question.
Okay.
This one is hard.
Oh Jesus.
Are you ready?
Oh no.
New York City or London?
New York City, man.
Oh!
That's it's still my heart. Come on.
Okay.
That's just wrong. I love being here, man.
I was just like,
Yeah.
wait, this is gonna be challenging for him to
No, no, it's still New York City, man. It's just, I guess yeah, it's just where I grew up. It's my heart. It's all I knew. I've only been in London for a year and a half. As much as I'm loving London, yeah, it's different here.
Good
I miss the
answer.
tall buildings. I miss the lights. I miss the vibe. I miss not knowing how my night's gonna end. You know, like I have more of that in New York than I do.
I love that. Okay, we didn't lose you yet. Perfect.
No.
Perfect. Favorite actor.
Ooh, that's tough. Can I give a top three?
You could give a top three. Yes.
All right. Jamie Foxx is up there. Matthew McConaughey is up there. And British actor, Daniel Kaluuya, from Get Out and Nope recently.
He is great. I was just like, wait, that name sounds so familiar.
Yeah.
And he's awesome. And he's kind of new to the acting world too.
I know he's been more in the spotlight because of like Jordan Peele. Like he works with that director who's been kind of new. But I don't know if he really studied, but like he's been, like I don't think he went to drama school, but he's always taking classes. And I think he's taken part of it when he was younger too. But he's just been more in the spotlight. But now he's great, and it was again something that changed me. I remember it was a Black Mirror episode that he's on. I forget the name of it. It was on the first season, but yeah.
Black Mirror came out and I started watching it. Jorge's like into it.
Okay.
And I know which episode you're talking about because, like, I think that's the first time that I've seen him,
Yeah.
like, act
Yeah.
before, like, he did all of, like, the movies.
Yeah.
So, but Black Mirror is intense and I love it and, like, the acting. And that's, like, a show that really makes you, like, think.
Yeah. It like holds the mirror up against like society and be like, okay, what did I learn from
Yeah.
this? How do I feel? Do I feel differently about myself or the world in general? And yeah, that's really the goal. And
Yeah.
I love stuff that kind of does that, still in a fun, exciting way where it's
Yeah.
not like preaching to you or telling you anything.
No, totally. It's a fun show. It's a good
Yeah.
show. What, like, to end and like wrap everything around, what is like, and I might have asked this already, but what is one thing, no, I didn't ask, but like what is one thing that you're looking forward to in 2023?
Ooh. It's actually gonna be on a note that I've gotten from like a teacher. They want me to be a little bit more, I guess, like more physical. So like complete opposite. Like they tend to view that I kind of constrain a lot, or where she says flex, which I really don't understand what that means. So it goes on, but like again, it's just the opposite, and like they're kind of like also they mix in classes like with yoga. So like me being more yoga or approaching like a scene differently, where it's just not like I come through as like um the brute or something like that, but it's more as like I'm more light and more open and I guess more playful. So like seeing where that is in my body, so I could kind of like completely transform to like different characters. Just kind of doing opposite of what has gotten me so far into Guildhall and my acting experience now. Doing the opposite physically and seeing where that. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
So it's like it's just not only I guess not just being able to just kind of like say the words on a script, but like
Yeah.
almost feeling the words.
Yeah, like embody it in
Yeah.
a way that is totally different. And like, they're really big on images. So like if they see me more as doing a scene like, I don't know, random, but like I'm more of a rock or something like that, a little bit more hard or tough. Doing the scene as a feather, like how would a feather do it? And like I don't fucking know, but how a feather, looks and floats in the air. So, what does that image do for me, as an actor, and how can I, embody that with the lines and with my scene partner and the scene in general. So I want to explore more of that, and yeah, kind of do more yoga. Um, yeah, and just get more loose with my body as much as possible.
Well, I love it.
Yeah.
Are you excited to get back?
It's bittersweet, man. Cause this is the longest I've been away from home. I haven't been home since last December. Um, and man, yeah, I've been having a blast. Like I love just kind of being home, not doing anything. I miss the food.
It's the best.
Food is the best.
What was the thing that you were looking forward to the most when you got back to New York?
My mom's lasagna. She makes the best.
There's nothing like mom's
It's
cooking.
nothing like mom's cooking.
Yeah.
I've been having it every day. It's been so great.
You could maybe like pack it, freeze it, ship it.
Yeah, she keeps saying that, but I don't think it would be as good. It might turn out to be London food.
Yeah.
But or taste like.
But it's something great to like look forward to come home to for sure, right?
Yeah. So yeah, that I'm gonna miss that. And then yeah, seeing my friends back here has been really great.
And making new friends.
And making new friends. Yeah, exactly. Right. It's just been great. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing you when I come back. For the trip. And hopefully I'll be back this summer. I don't think I'll wait this long.
Yeah.
And
or we'll visit you in London.
That would be even great. Yeah, that would be dope.
It'll be amazing. I want to like come out to like the place like once you start like getting out there. I'll be so excited.
Yeah, no, it'll be great. And if not, like I think we can stream it too. So like that's another good thing, people see.
Well, I know they can't see the room that we're in right now, but this is like a perfect room for like a streaming party to like. Right?
I'm with you on this. Yeah, this is a great. Yeah, wish I could live here.
Yeah. We can't give you all the tea, but
yeah.
But this was so fun. It was amazing, kind of like learning kind of like the ins and outs and like where you are in your career. And I can't wait to kind of continue the conversation to see like where you land.
Yeah.
And I think you're gonna land in really great places because you seem so passionate and so ambitious, and it's like. One of the reasons I wanted to talk to you to begin with, just kind of like picking up and like going for it and being all in is.
Nah, thank you for having me. I appreciate
incredible.
It.
Of course.
I really do appreciate it. Yeah.
Of course. Well, thank you.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me. This has been great. And when you do come back, we'll make sure to have tea, for you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that. So thank you for listening to Tea Time with T. I'll check you guys in the next one. Ciao for now.